Hey, welcome to your Leo horoscopes for the week of Christmas, starting Christmas Eve, the 24th, ending the 30th of December. It's our last week of December. It's our last week of 2023. The Mercury retrograde has officially moved into Sagittarius, so we are officially into the whole fire sign Mercury retrograde thing, which can be kind of scary a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad, but let's see what happens. We'll see what happens. We did some moon action this week. First of all, no planets in Leo at all, and focus is on those you love. And the moon coming into your sign on Thursday in that space tends to create some challenges, especially as the moon comes into your sign, moving into a T square with Pluto as well as looks like Jupiter. Yes, Jupiter. Um, Jupiter's focus is on self. Pluto's focus is on career and those that support you, and of course, the moon is sitting right there in that those that you love and those that you support place, which don't always line up, which is challenging. This is actually a pretty big issue, I think, that a lot of people have, is that in many ways the mentality is to overdo for people, is to put more of yourself than you even have into these people, with the expectation that when you really need it, they're going to be there for you. And classically, that just, it almost never happens. Sometimes it does, and it's great, but most of the time it doesn't really work out that way. And it's very disappointing. It really starts to feel like you're just sort of being taken advantage of, because that's probably true in many ways. Um, Pluto's all about change and transformation. Jupiter really is all about expansion, although it's retrograde right now. But what's interesting about Jupiter's placement is it's all on self. And I feel like a lot of this, because Jupiter is retrograde, I feel like a lot of this challenge is not about the people and how they're reacting. It's about you and how you're reacting. And I say this by meaning you have to be the one to lay down boundaries on your relationships. You have to be the one to teach people how you want to be treated. If you don't do those things, they don't know. And so consequently, they just will keep doing the same thing that they've been doing and, upsetting you and not even really realizing why you're upset. Is that classic thing that I think all mothers have to go through. When you go in and you ask your kids, please pick up your things off the floor. And then 5 minutes later, you come back and not a single thing that was on the floor has moved. And you're like, excuse me, can you please pick up and put away your things on the floor? And then you leave and come back again. And this happens like 3 or 4 times before you finally just lose it and start screaming, well, you just clean up that floor, right? And then everybody's looking at you like, why is mom always yelling, right? You're not teaching them the right way of doing it. You're not placing the proper, you're not setting the proper boundaries, basically. So for instance, in order to get around that issue with my own family, it was turn off the TV, look at mom, you can turn the TV back on when you put all these toys away so they're not all over my floor. And in that way, I was able to avoid the crazy mom most of the time. Don't think that I avoided it completely, because that's not the case. As we move into Friday, this becomes not quite as big of a challenge. There is still a square there with Jupiter, and this really has a lot to do with your perception about your family. A lot of people I hear it over and over again. Aren't you, isn't your family supposed to be the ones that are support you? Well, okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, I suppose. But then again, what book is that in? What rule, where is that rule that says that your family's supposed to be there to support you? Unfortunately, it doesn't work out like that for most people. So this problem is not a problem with them. It's a problem with you and your perception of this issue. That is what's a little bit skewed, and that's what needs to be fixed for your own sanity, if that makes sense. That square continues in through the end of the week. So we're bringing that into Saturday, unfortunately. Although the square does change, it's not with Jupiter, it's with Uranus at this particular point, but it's still pretty much the same concept. This isn't about them, this is about you and where you're choosing to put your focus. The good thing is that the moon's trine with that Mercury retrograde as well as Mars gives you a place to put that focus, which is on your long-term goals. And I think that a lot of times when we have issues within our relationships, maybe the family relationships or what have you, those issues take up so much time. We spend so much time thinking about how we want it different, how it should be, different. We're kind of sort of trying to beat it into them that it needs to be different. And, we're just kind of fighting that. It's taking away all of our energy from what is going to help us improve our situation. And that's really the best mindset to be in moving into the new year is we're releasing these old patterns that aren't working anymore in order to make room for patterns that are healthy, that are helpful, that are supportive. Even if you're supporting yourself right now through this, we need to, if we can't find them outside of ourselves, we need to create them. And that's really the big lesson there for the moon right at the end of the year. I mean, the moon, you almost take the moon all the way into that last day of the year. You won't necessarily have it on the last day of the year, but it's pretty darn close. And in all honesty, these are the things that if you are coming up with your goal plan for 2024, which I hope you are, if you are coming up with your goal plan for 2024, these are the things you want to leave in 2023 in order to have a successful 2024. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending a tip or donation through my Ko-fi link, which is there in the description of the video. Really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Also, in the description of the video, for one more week, I have hour-long readings at 25% off. And the link to order that reading is right there in the description. So is the promo code. So make a note of the promo code, click on the link, fill out the information, pick your time, do all that stuff, stick the promo code in there. Boom, you got your 25% off. This is the last week that I'm offering that. It does expire on January 31st. So keep that in mind when you are thinking about it. You've only got a week left to think about it. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Psychic. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next week. You guys kick butt. Make it a great week. Be successful, because that's what it's all about, right? Especially for you Leos. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys next week.